Well, the inflation rate continues to ease down to its lowest level since the end of 2021, but it's still pretty high. Prices were up 6% in the 12 months to June. That's compared to 7.2% for the same time last year and 6.7% in the March quarter. Falling transport costs contributed to the slowdown, with international airfares dropping nearly 12% and petrol 1.5%. But food prices continue to soar. Veggies are up 23.3%, meat, poultry and fish up 11%, and grocery prices like milk and cheese up 12.8%. Here is Alexa Cook with more.
People are fed up with food prices.
The price of food is too damn high.
Protesting around the country today, angry at supermarkets' huge profits.
People over profit. People over profit.
We already had people struggling before inflation, before the cost of living crisis. Things have only gotten worse, and there's no end in sight.
A feeling shared by many.
As a student, I'm feeling it every day. Every time I go to the supermarket, it's just more expensive.
Everything's gone up. Everything.
Especially fruit and veggies, it's ridiculous.
You cut back, you do a lot of sums in your head.
And they're still rising. Although inflation is coming down, that only reduces the size of price hikes. It doesn't lower current costs.
Instead of turning up at the supermarket and seeing things rising by $2 at a time, maybe it'll only be $1 and then 50 cents and then getting back to the sort of more normal rates of increase. Inflation
peaked last year at 7.2%. Now it's back down to 6%, still well above the target range of between 1 and 3%. Economists are warning it's too soon to say if the Reserve Bank is starting to get inflation under control.
Not entirely out of the woods. The prices are still rising faster than they have done over the past 3 decades, and so consumers still having to grapple with those pressures there.
It's good that the trajectory of inflation is going down, but it's still too high, and New Zealanders are experiencing the pressure of that and the prices that they pay.
Prices some are arguing the government could be helping with. The protesters want more government action addressing supermarket profits. They're calling for either an increase in the corporate tax rate or the introduction of an excess profits tax.
It's time to put the profits back into the people.
The government considered those taxes for the banking sector, but for supermarket profits, it's relying on reforms.
We've made sure that the supermarkets are on notice to open up the wholesale end of what they do to make sure that there can be more competition, which will drive prices down.
The growing grocery bill isn't the only thing putting pressure on households. Infometrics say the official cash rate is expected to stay put, so higher interest rates are unlikely to budge.
Those are not going to be coming down anytime soon.
Just like food prices.
So Alexa, when are we going to get inflation under control?
Well, not anytime soon. The Reserve Bank and Treasury are predicting it won't be until the end of next year, and economists think it'll take a little bit longer. They say perhaps early 2025 before we start seeing inflation being shoved back in its box. Now, today's figures are promising. They show the slow sort of easing on our economy, but there is a lot of work to go before we get back to normal, and that's because of these sticky underlying price pressures on things like our housing and our building costs. It means that we won't be seeing any cuts to our official cash rate for a while, and experts say that's because the Reserve Bank wants more time and more evidence to see that it's working, because squeezing the excess inflation out of our economy is proving to be a pretty tough uphill slog.
Absolutely. Alexa Cook in Wellington, thank you.